Well, I mean, I'll talk a little bit about our application strategy first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like RockYou looks at applications really from a large portfolio perspective. We actually have, on kind of like a unique application level, we probably have about like 25 to 30 individual applications.
Mm-hmm.
And that's including like, we have Hug Me on Facebook, Super Hug on MySpace, but that's considered a single application, kind of like a single vertical.
Why do you name it differently? I mean, why do you?
Well, naming is very important based off of the social network.
So you figured like the Super Hug on MySpace would work out better?
Yep, that's
okay,
correct.
Then Hug Me.
Right, and just so for instance, like on High Five, the same application is called Super Five.
Oh, Super 5, yeah.
Because
yes.
on High Five you have a concept of like high-fiving your friends and
yes,
stuff like that.
Yes.
So with that, like we look at our applications actually kind of on different tiers actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Super Hug and Super Comments are considered what we consider distribution applications.
Mm-hmm.
What those are meant to be is like kind of like messaging applications in which you can actually reach out to all of your friends, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have more like strong vertical applications, which not necessarily represents all of the user demographic, but actually represents a more sticky experience in which actually users actually come back and use the application in a much higher engaging aspect. One really important thing is that we definitely use OpenSocial as a language,
mm-hmm.
but we definitely have very different implementations based on the social network.
Okay.
So, but it makes it a lot easier for us. So we've kind of seen MySpace, High Five, and Orchid go through kind of like all the different phases of which, like, they kind of talk about initial functionality, kind of vet out how each one actually plays it kind of very differently,
mm-hmm.
And how they actually decided what viral channels, what rules they went ahead with, and that kind of thing. And the interesting thing is that each one of the social networks has been fairly different,
okay.
for like in our perspective. So we're doing well on each social network, and the cool part about it is that different applications have done well in different social networks.
Right.
So one of the key things about RockYou is that instead of our belief is that actually we go out there and we actually try to design the best application for the social network.
Yeah.
It's different than how some people they basically take an application, they just try to kind of cater it in one specific way and just kind of modify it, but it's the same application fundamentally.
Right.
Because our belief is that social networks really represent kind of core demographics,
mm-hmm.
and so what that means is if you look at High Five and High Five compared to MySpace, they're very strong in their incumbent demographics. High Five is big in kind of like Spanish-speaking countries. MySpace, obviously, very large in the U.S. And so, because of cultural and social things, the type of applications are going to be fairly different.
Sure. Yeah.